So this Climate Change Response Act, it's been a while in the making. And why is the passing of this act such a big deal?
This revision of the Climate Change Act, it has set out legally binding net zero targets. So that's a very important step. And also it proposed a new governance structures for the climate change issue, because traditionally the old climate change issue was kind of like a view as a authority of the environmental protection agency, which did not have enough power to ask other ministries to promote, to prioritize the climate change issue.
This isn't Taiwan's first climate act. What is the difference? What are the major differences between this bill and the old Greenhouse Gas Reduction Act from 2015?
It did not have enough ambitions in terms of the long-term target, and the enforcement of that law is pretty weak, because they don't have a strong governance structure. It did not consider too much about the adaptation issue, and for the past 7 years, we find out that Taiwan have facing several extreme events. We have to enhance our adaptation policy. So by this revision, we also add these elements about the adaptation in this new Climate Change Act.
Finally, what do you feel is still lacking from this act?
The first one is that it did not mention about the fossil fuel subsidy removal or fossil fuel subsidy reform. I think this is a very key element of the global climate policy, but the government did not take that into consideration. The second one is that we find out that the Ministry of the Finance, they avoid their responsibility to have a green green fiscal reform. The last one is that we find out that citizen lawsuit, climate lawsuit, is a very important mechanism that make sure that all the authority and all the emission source, they have to fulfill their responsibility to lower the emission. But in this revision, we find out that in the meantime, the government don't have this kind of institutional capacity to have these kind of mechanisms.